I think the last time the president had an attempt on their life was Ronald Reagan.
And really, what would have happened if he actually did get shot? Let's think about it. Oh yeah, Civil War.
The man Trump bringing out all the loonies when he's in office, all the assassins and...
Welcome back to the Black Summit. I'm Brooks.
And this is Hendrix, the one and only.
And we are glad to have you guys back with us. Today we are going to be talking about the assassination attempt on the former president, Donald Trump. We're also going to be getting into the Republican convention. Not the conviction. Convention. Well, there already was. Yeah. We're going to be talking about that. Also, Trump just picked his VP. And so we're going to be talking about who this guy is. And how bad of a decision it was. No, I'm just kidding.
Probably was
so
terrible.
we'll be getting into that. But first, we're going to talk about the assassination attempt that happened on Saturday, the 13th, I believe. There was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump at 6:04 p.m. in Butler, Pennsylvania. Donald Trump, in front of a roaring crowd, was shot at by a 20-year-old white man, Thomas Matthew Crooks. What is it with these three name,
Crooks?
Not John Wilkes Booth, but okay. So Thomas Matthew Crooks. But Donald Trump survived, and he unfortunately there was someone who did not survive, and a person ended up getting injured as well. And so yeah, it's kind of crazy. Biden, Obama, GW, Clinton, Nancy Pelosi have all come out and have condemned the violence that took place there. And they've also, sent their condolences, and Trump has too. What a wild weekend. What did you think of it?
It was crazy. I think the last time the president had an attempt on their life was Ronald Reagan. That was the last time. And I remember a lot of people were being fearful when Obama got elected. And I think it was his inauguration. And remember when the parade, he was walking down the street and some people was like, oh my God, I hope nobody don't try to shoot him. But like his detail was on point. I don't know what detail Trump had. I don't know what detail he had.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
But yeah, that's my take. Go ahead, what you got?
I just thought it was crazy. And it's sad to really see what the political field has become. People have become too comfortable with egging on this kind of behavior. I'll put it like that. And we've seen it the last few months. I feel like it's even gotten worse, where I feel like people have been going, wink, wink, who's going to do it? And I've seen videos of people saying that. I've seen videos of people saying somebody's got to take them out.
Really?
Yeah. And actually, I know people who've low key said that. But, things get really serious when somebody actually tries to do it. And I don't know how it ended up happening like that. But listen, man, this is not to be celebrated. I see a lot of people saying, oh, dang, why'd he miss him? It's like, guys, we're getting too comfortable with this kind of thing. I mean, let's get serious for a second here. That is a former president of the United States of America. And really, what would have happened if he actually did get shot? Let's think about it. Oh, yeah, Civil War. So,
you think so?
Let's chill out with that. Oh, yeah, that guy should have hit him. I saw people making a lot of jokes and different things. I just think that no matter if I do disagree with him, I'm not going to, wish death on somebody or celebrate it, like it's okay. I understand that this man, he's done a lot of different things to people, and people are angry. And I have a soft spot for that because I do think that Trump does egg things on. He is one of those people who, gets people's blood riled up. I really think that TDS, which is Trump derangement syndrome, is actually real, because when it comes to, regular people, people are fine with you, you know, having disagreements. But when it comes to Trump, there's something that happens to people that they just go, oh my goodness, like, you know, they just go crazy. And so I
Well,
just think that it's kind of crazy how we've gotten to this point that our rhetoric has reached this level.
yeah.
So
Well, let me say. So, I don't. First off, I don't think it's ever a good thing to having someone. I don't applaud no one having an attempt on their life, regardless if I disagree with them or not. But personally, I never thought this would happen to him.
mhm.
I never, because so much people ride with him, but that goes to show you a lot of people dislike Trump as well.
Yes,
A lot of people dislike Trump,
TDS is
and
real.
you know, like I was with some people. If anybody would have tried to get an attempt on their life, it probably would have been Obama or something like that. But that never, thankfully that never happened. And it's unfortunate that this happened to Donald Trump. But like I said, I never thought this would happen to him. But if you notice, when Trump was in office, other people were putting attempts on other people's life on behalf of him. Not saying that he condoned it or anything like that.
Mhm.
There were people, they caught a guy in a van. He had a list of everybody he wanted to take out. They even mailed anthrax to the White
Oh
House,
yeah, I remember
and they
that.
were all Trump supporters.
Yeah.
That's why I was shocked to see this happen to Trump. I said, man, Trump bringing out all the loonies when he's in office, all the assassins, and everybody want to target all these politicians. But I never in a million years thought that this would have took place and happened to him. Never.
Yeah, I think people need to cool it on the politics. We got to chill out with this kind of behavior. But I get it. Because Trump has said a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of crazy things. But does that man deserve to get shot,
Nah, he
to get
doesn't.
killed, to get assassinated?
He doesn't. But people gotta understand, even if you saying things for likes
Mhm.
or for political power, even if you believe them or you disagree them or you giving half truths, they don't understand words are very powerful.
Yes.
These people hang on to your words, even if you don't mean it. In Congress and whatever going to, there's no way they're going to go for that. But I'm gonna just say this or say that. They
Let
got to
me
be
let me say
mindful of what
this.
they say.
Let me say this. What do you think of the people who are like, well, Trump has always kind of called for political violence in a way. You saw it with January 6th. You saw it
Hmm.
with Charlottesville. Some of the things that he's kind of rallied up. So that in turn is okay because the assassination attempt is okay because of what Trump has called for in the past. What do you think about that?
That people say that's
Because I
okay.
feel like a lot of people kind of have that
Be honest with
view.
you, I don't condone the attempted coup de country on January 6th. I don't
Mhm.
condone Charlottesville because some people got killed there as well.
Mhm.
People got killed in an attempted coup of the country,
Mhm.
and then it's like it came back full circle. Now someone took an attempt on his life.
Mhm.
So I don't condone any of it. That's what I'm saying. That but go ahead to say the words are very powerful,
Yeah.
and they say Trump is very divisive. He's very divisive. He divides people. Muslim bans this.
Yeah.
And I get it. You do need some type of reform for with immigration and things like that. But just get him over here in a reasonable way legally. But he's so divisive. He's dividing. He's stacked the Supreme Court, and he's never known for bringing people together. He says he's going to make America great again, but for who? The poor is still poor. The rich is still rich. You still have people disenfranchised. The hungry is still hungry. The homeless is still homeless. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's all rhetoric, man. It's a lot of what I like to call fluff. On both sides, there's a lot of talk. It's a lot of fluff.
No, I agree.
Mm,
So I just want to talk about the victim in the case, and then we'll talk about something else.
mm,
But the man who was shot and got killed at the rally, his name is David Dutch, a 57-year-old U.S. Marine veteran, and he was shot in the liver and in the chest at the rally. So condolences to him and his family. I
mm.
mean, I
Yeah, it's
mean that really
unfortunate.
sucks that you go to, to a rally and
Yeah,
you end up
and something like
dead,
this happens. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy, man.
I wonder how will they continue to do rallies,
I mean, they're gonna have to
probably.
beef up that security, dog.
Yeah, the detail is, I don't know what's up with
I
that
mean, think
detail.
about that. You go to a rally, and I mean, think about the bullet, man. I mean, it just missed Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 inch, they were saying, from Civil War,
1 inch,
pretty
yeah.
much. I mean,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about.
Man, I don't necessarily know if it'd be a civil war, but then again, anything is possible because we did see January 6th.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
did
Oh,
see
but I
January
think
6th,
people
so.
would have been mad.
But this is the thing.
I think those Trump
But
supporters
you
would
know,
have went
you know
crazy if something
what's so
happened.
bad about it?
What's that?
And one thing with Trump supporters, I realize, and maybe not all, but a great deal of y'all, they're not rooted in any facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say if it was a civil war,
Mm-hmm.
who are they gunning for? Democrat? How you know? Who you gunning for? So you're gonna say, oh, this the Democrat did this, and then this dude is a registered Republican. You know what I mean? So
One thing I'll
who
say
you
about
going
those.
for?
One thing I'll say about those Trump supporters, they are so loyal to Trump that, I mean, really, they would go after even the Republicans who never, don't really, mess with Trump. You know what I'm
So
saying?
let me ask you this.
So
then.
I think they would go after everybody.
Let me ask you this.
So
do you think that there are Republicans and then there are Trump supporters?
I
It's
think
two
there
different-
are. I think there
So
are.
it's like
but
a party
I think,
within a party?
Oh yeah, I think both parties have been split. If you really look at them,
Mm-hmm.
in the Democratic Party, it's about the progressive people with and versus like the moderates. Okay, the people who kind of want the status quo or whatever. And then in the Republican Party, you got the MAGA, and then you got the establishment Republicans. And so I think both parties are kind of split. But I think that when you really, dive deep, I think that this is going to unite Republicans everywhere.
You think so?
When they look at that picture,
Maybe.
when they look at that picture where Trump was, and you got to admit, that picture,
When he said fight,
that's a,
right?
did you see the picture though?
Yeah, I saw it. He took.
That's a great
he made
picture.
It, he made it a moment.
I'm not
He
even
utilized and made it a moment.
exactly, and I'm not even like trying to look at it from a political perspective,
Mm-hmm.
bro. That's a
Oh
that
yeah, that's all
picture's
you're gonna
hard.
see.
Are you kidding me?
That's all you're gonna see.
When you see him do this, and like somebody was breaking it down, that thing was in the thirds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, like that was like
'Cause
the perfect
even when
picture. The
when
American flag,
yeah.
the bloody ear,
And when
the fist pump in
people,
the air.
people already getting tattoos of that already.
That's what I'm
when
saying.
the detail was grabbing him, and I saw the video, and he's like, "All right, hold on." They was trying to grab. He's like, hold on. So he went to the podium, number fight, and they just started chanting USA, USA. So I was wondering, do you think that solidify him? He got the Oval Office back again because of that.
I think that it's going to unite the party like you've never seen the party united. I mean, I think they're going to put aside all their differences, and you're going to see them come together.
Or
and I mean,
do you think it could possibly be that they say, "Man, look at this. Oh, this dude is so bad that one of his own tried to take him out because the guy was a registered Republican."
now, yeah, let's
think
get
they
in.
may
All right,
say
so
that?
let's get into facts about the guy. All right,
Yeah.
so Matthew Thomas Crooks was the shooter, and I actually have a video.
He's 20 years old.
He was 20 years old, so I'm gonna play this video, and then we'll talk about it right after this.
From the FBI, we now know officially that the FBI believes that this first from the FBI, we now know officially that the FBI believes that this gunman acted alone, and that the FBI believes he had no history of mental illness. CNN learned that this is a registered Republican who donated a small amount of money to a Democratic-aligned group. We also learned from the employer of the gunman, which is just around the corner. It's a nursing home, that he was working as a dietary aide, and the nursing home said that frankly they had no problems with him, and that he did pass a background check before being employed at that nursing home. We also learned that he was ID'd from his father's rifle. His father was the owner of the rifle, and initially after Secret Service neutralized this gunman, he did not have any identification on him. Secret Service and other federal agencies were able to trace the rifle, though found at the scene, to his father. That was how they were able to identify the gunman here. And then the last big piece of information that we learned today was that there were explosives. found by law enforcement agents both in the gunman's car and at his residence here in the Bethel Park area. It just all goes to show the scope of this investigation as folks try to learn what exactly happened here.
All right, so he was a registered Republican, but he gave money to this Democratic, organization.
Whatever, something. Yeah.
So we don't really know what he really was, or if Now if people have been looking really deeply into him, and they were saying that he was kind of a person who like wore a mask, and he would watch a lot of like liberal different I think they were saying that he followed some liberal media websites and not really as much like Republican things, but he is a registered Republican. So,
I just saw where the kids from school said he used to be bullied a lot.
Yeah, I have that video too. You want me to play that?
Yeah, play that.
All right.
He was bullied almost every day.
In what way? Can you explain?
I mean, he would sit alone at lunch. I mean, he was just an outcast, and you know how kids are nowadays, so they're gonna see someone like that and they're gonna target him because they think it's funny or whatever. So it's the best way I can describe it. And it's honestly kind of sad. Like, I don't want to say this is what provoked it, but you never know.
Yeah. You said he was a loner?
Yeah. I want to say he was a loner more because he was quiet, but like he was just bullied. Like he was bullied so much.
So yeah, that was a classmate of his in high school. So
you never know, man. The kids who might have bullied him might have been Republicans.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Anything is possible, Because think about it. I think for them to say, of course, it is political, right? Mm-hmm. Words, everything got meaning. The way you spin the narrative, the propaganda, what you say, they made sure to say he is a registered Republican, but he gave $15 to this Democratic. So they spend it, either way you slice it, the media is spinning the narrative.
Yeah.
They're spinning the narrative. You didn't have to say who he gave money to. But they still spinning the narrative. And if people are smart enough to look for these things and not fall every time the cookie crumbles, you know what I mean? And the kid was bullied every day. That makes no excuse to justify what he did. But also, we can spin a narrative. You don't know who was bullying him. Like I said, once again, it could have probably been a whole bunch of Republican kids who probably was bullying him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, yet another, white male, young.
Oh my God, I'm thinking the same thing.
Mass shooting, because this really was a mass shooting, because 4 people were basically
Let me
affected.
ask you something. Do you think, and I want your honest opinion,
okay,
do you think white males are a threat to their own democracy?
I think that there has been a lot of rhetoric that, has affected a lot of like white males, and a lot of it is the media. A lot of it is, basically people telling, and I think not just white males, but I think even black people, young men.
Yeah, with the media, definitely.
Yeah, there's been a lot of almost disdain for men.
Right.
And, I think that I feel like white men are going to feel it more, than black people are, just because, people are saying because of your color, you're basically, I don't know, crazy. But
look at
can't make it. Yeah. What are you going to say about this moment? Not only that, multiple times.
That's what I'm saying.
Multiple times.
The proof is in the pudding.
Exactly.
Has black people ever been a threat to democracy like they think we are? What power do we yield?
We never had power, but they're so scared of us.
True facts. But why? We can't as black people we can't even figure out why.
Because I think that people are afraid that we are going to do to them
what they did to us.
Exactly.
That's true. I've actually heard white people actually say that.
Articulate that. Yeah.
Yeah, they did when their families had been found out that they had once owned slaves.
Yeah.
They didn't want memoirs to come out. Mm-hmm. No one wants to be labeled a racist, but people do racial practices.
Right.
Or covertly, you know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of I've heard many people say, famous people as well, saying that they're going to be a threat to their own democracy. That they trying. It's like you're going to tear down some stuff that you run already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a war within itself, a house divided against itself can't stand. On January 6th, there wasn't a lot of people look like us out there. I'm not saying some weren't, but it wasn't us. You know what I mean? And I think if it was, it would have been a massacre. It would have been a bloody. It would have been known as Bloody January 6th.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It would have been a whole nother story for the record books.
You know, if you disagree,
so
put it in the comments.
So so this kid, I mean, he was a white male. I saw a lot of black people celebrating that it wasn't one of us. But I was like, are y'all surprised that it's not us?
I know, right? Why should
come
you
on
be,
now?
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm not trying to be
like
racist now, but I'm just saying that the last few shootings that have been mass shootings, or the majority of them have been a young white male.
Yeah,
and
a young white male. And an old white male in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And they are the ones with the semi-automatic weapons. Yeah. And then
I'm not trying to be racist or anything.
No, because it's not about being racist. It's about being factual.
Yeah, exactly.
Then there was the only...
We do have a lot of violence in our community.
Yeah. Everybody, no, we never say we don't have violence. That's in human nature. Yeah. The only mass shooting I was ever privy to or aware of was the one with the two men, the man and the boy, Malvo. You know what I'm talking about? When he was shooting.
Yeah, you're talking about when one of them northern.
The DC
states.
sniper. The DC sniper.
Oh,
it was the DC sniper.
Okay.
That was a black guy, and they didn't know at first. And he was shooting. He had that little kid shooting random people.
You're talking about recently, right?
No. That was some years back. You didn't hear about that?
I mean, maybe 5 or 6, 7, maybe 7 years
No.
ago.
A little bit longer than that.
Like 20?
How long was that?
I think wasn't there something in Dallas that was happening where a guy was shooting? He was black.
Shooting cops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they took him out real quick.
Yeah.
They took him out real quick.
I remember that one.
Yeah, the DC sniper. But then he wasn't. He only shot. I don't know if he killed. Maybe I don't know. I think he only shot like one cop. I think or something.
Oh
like
really?
Yeah. That's if he even did that. But the DC sniper actually took out a few people because of his. I think had to do something with his wife. Didn't want to be with him no more. So he had another young kid under his wing, and he had the kid, shooting people. But yeah, that's the only. Yeah. But that's sniper style, not in a crowd of people mass shooting or at a school or a movie theater or something like that. But still, it doesn't excuse anything.
Right.
What
do you think of the Secret Service? Because a lot of people are blaming them. I heard one guy, I think he's like a private security type guy, and he was talking about how, just from the beginning to the end, they kind of just flubbed it.
Yeah, you can look at it.
I mean, he was saying that, like, one, by the way, this is a fact. Mm-hmm. They had 2 minutes where people were like alerting them.
Yeah, they were pointing at the dude on the roof.
Exactly. People would have videos. They had all kinds of angles of everything when they were like telling them, yo, like, there's somebody up there, know? Yeah. So they had 2 minutes to respond. They were telling some of the local law enforcement, I believe. Mm-hmm. But also, if you look at the pictures and some of the different things, this security guy, private security guy, was saying, yo, they messed up. Yeah. You have to move the president away from the X mark. Okay? Mm-hmm. You don't keep him in the range of the person. Yeah. That you saw how they like got on top of him and they kept him in that spot. Yeah. No, you got to move him off the stage. Get him out of the shooter's range in a way. Yeah.
They try to shield him with their body.
Yeah, exactly.
And if he was still shooting and they drop, he can still still shoot him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there was one shooter. There was one Secret Service person who was actually hiding underneath. There's a picture. She was hiding behind the stage trying to make sure she didn't get shot. It's like, you're supposed to be protecting the president. Yeah. Like, what are you?
Former president.
Yeah, the former president.
I guess, the human instinct to protect yourself, that kicked in.
Yeah.
But every former president gets a security detail. Yeah. Now, at what magnitude that detail is, I don't know if it is as as depth as a sitting president,
Yeah.
but you do get some form of security detail at some point. And what tripped me out is like these are like 10 buildings. The buildings ain't that high.
Yeah.
They're not even, it's not like, it's 15 stories, building, and they wait, where's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't that high, for them not to like maybe sweep that whole area. I don't know what exactly they did with their job, but didn't look like they really do a good job.
They did not do
it
a good
looks
job.
like they like his detail was the same detail Rick Ross had in Canada. I was like, what? He had the B team
Yeah.
detail. I was like, what is this? So I don't know
Yeah,
how
did
many
you see
guys
the
they
woman trying to-
assigned. Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She was trying to put her gun back in her holster. Yeah, I mean
Panic.
that's crazy, man. I mean,
Panic.
I don't know what they were doing. That's a potential president again, but also former president. I mean, how do you not have better security for him?
Yeah, I wonder if he can hire a private security. Because technically he's a citizen,
he can, and I think
so he probably should have his own private
he's
along
gonna
with them.
have to.
Yeah,
He's going to
now-
have to get some kind of better security than, I guess, the Secret Service, which I thought that was the best security you could possibly get. Apparently not. Like,
I think they gave him the dudes, not the elite. Yeah, they might have passed. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get the elite. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they gave him a little detail of, I guess maybe he might have had 4 people or whatever the case may be. So
yeah.
I think he's definitely gonna be trumped up now. No pun intended.
Yeah.
But yeah, that detail, I don't know, man. But then again, at the same time, we talking, but we never been in that situation, so
That's
you don't
true.
know how you're gonna act when random shots are being,
Well,
you
the
don't know
guy
what
I
you're
was
gonna
listening
do.
to, because I listened to a lot of PBD,
Mm-hmm.
and he talks, the guy that was on there, he was talking about how those agents, they were sitting there and they were like, okay, what now? Like, what are we going to do?
Really?
Yeah, if you listen to the tapes, he said that you could hear them like, they didn't know what they were going to do in that moment. And he was like, that shows you right there that they didn't know
Yeah.
what in the world they were doing.
Mm.
And they're like looking around like what they're going to do. He was like, you should already have that in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, if this happens, A, B, C, D, we're going to do all kinds of different things, so you should already know that. And they didn't
'Cause
appear to know any of that.
Didn't
so
they have a sniper on the roof?
they did.
That's the one who shot.
That was one of the best snipers too.
who shot the kid, I guess, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that I think that's the guy who actually shot him.
So I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did this, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. I would think that they would. Okay, what's the area they're going to be at, and they would go out and recon. That's the purpose of recon, and assess the area and look at vantage points. Okay, So it's like, honestly, like I said, that's no 20-story building. Those are
Yes.
like 10. I would have a guy on each roof.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least you can oversee the crowd and have some people planted in the crowd.
Exactly.
And I would put a guy, or me get a guy on this roof, me get a guy. Then if a guy is on the roofs, where is he going to be? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we fund them well, don't we? I mean, I would think all this money we're spending, you would think that they're, well funded.
Yeah.
What do you think about all these conspiracy theories? There's a lot of people
I heard
saying
a lot about that,
that
man.
this was
That
staged.
it was staged.
And I'm surprised by how many people are like, yo, this was fake. There was no way that they could do this. Trump and them are trying to fake this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the picture? It was so perfect. And, that you could tell that this was staged.
And you
do
know
think
what?
about that?
Honestly, at first I said, man, because I saw the video, I was like, what? You know what I mean? And I could, and when you look at the clips of different angles, and like some of the people were behind, like this one guy standing behind him, everybody ducked, and he still just stood there.
Yeah.
He would have had, he like looked around, and then one lady, if you look at another angle, she
saw
pulled
that
out
lady.
her phone
Yeah.
almost before it happened and started recording, but then we in the cell phone era, so regardless what goes on, people are gonna do that. I can see how people can think it's staged, even some of my students, but someone got injured and someone actually died.
Exactly.
So that's not staging,
Well, some people were saying that maybe there was rubber bullets that might have hit Trump or something. I don't know.
But
So
rubber
there's-
bullets, do rubber bullets kill people?
No, exactly. So I mean,
So,
a lot of people were saying that some of those people were actors. So,
well, who's the guy who died?
David, let me just double
Crooks
check.
or something like that?
No,
Crooks?
no, that's the shooter.
That's the shooter?
No, his name was David Dutch.
David Dutch?
Yeah.
Well, if y'all think it's fake, y'all look out for this guy and see if you see him walking around or something. You
Yeah.
know, and if you see him walking around, then you know it was definitely a farce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the edits that have been going around with 50 Cent's song,
Nah.
Many Men? It has become like a sensation. Like the song is trending right now. A lot of people are saying that, you know, Trump might, you know, like make that the theme of the.
I seen a skit.
Yeah.
It was like, this didn't even happen 6 minutes, and some people already had a skit together already.
Yeah.
And I mean, hey, we live in that era,
Yeah.
information era, where it goes out so quickly because everybody got a cell phone,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it doesn't take no time to do this, no time to do this, you know.
Yeah.
So
Many Men. That's
yeah.
I mean, that's funny that's like
many men wish
know.
death upon me.
Yeah.
Many men.
Yeah.
Many men.
Ah.
I guess that's the case, man. Now they really gonna.
That's the anthem.
You know, they probably be calling them Teflon Don now.
Yeah, for real. So I mean, really, yeah. When you think about it, go ahead.
Do you think this? I was wondering. Do you think this actually now propels him to the White House now?
Again, I just think people are going to get rallied behind this. I mean, I don't see how you
curious to
don't,
see.
because here's the thing: a lot of people have seen this president go through the most things. Like they've seen him go
But
through
he's done the most too.
Yeah, true. They've seen him go through, you know, Russia collusion. They've seen him, you know, be convicted. And now, you know, when you think about it, it's like, okay, what's left? That's why, like, I wasn't that surprised that they tried to get him, because
Really? Man, I was
because a
surprised.
lot of people have been saying there's only one thing left to do,
Just
which
take
is
him
just
out.
take him out, because they can't beat him politically. Obviously, you know.
Well, even if they do beat him,
Even
he's
though they
still
did.
neck and neck. He's still like right there in your face. You cannot deny him. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't deny
And
him. His
it's-
followers, man, just
Yeah, and I saw even like Elon Musk and all these people are now, after this just happened, I think it confirmed a lot of stuff for a lot of people, that like they were just coming after Trump. So I think a lot of people are going to rally behind him.
I think so.
And so
You think he should have like
People gotta get out there and vote.
and step down and been like, now he's amped now, huh? Because now he's the primary elect for the Republican. Of course, we already know that.
Yeah.
They were in Milwaukee,
yeah,
so he needed what 1,200 votes, and he succeeded at
were you talking about delegates?
the delegates.
Yeah.
He succeeded.
So
at.
you're talking about with the convention.
With the convention, yeah. So
Yeah.
he's the primary for the Republican,
Yeah, exactly.
Republican Party now. So,
Yeah, I mean, like he's just been sworn in, and they just actually his son is the one who gave him the, you know, the nod, you know, on the mic. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting timing, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
With all this going on, I mean, again, this president has been through like the most. I mean, and has, you know, it seems like he is Teflon with all this stuff that he's like dodged.
With
I'm
the
like, what in the
convictions?
world? Yeah, I mean, like all, because they really did try to bring
But
everything
think
up,
about it,
up
though.
against him.
What does that say about America if he gets elected? What does that say?
What does that say about America?
What does that really say about
I
America?
think that it says that maybe if Trump wins, it would mean that people didn't get out and vote. Okay? I think that you're going to see a lot of people not vote, because there's a lot of people who don't want Joe Biden back in there. Okay?
Yeah.
And even though the other possibility is a Trump, you know, I think a lot of people are gonna, what they say, choose the couch, because, you know, that's really why Hillary lost. Hillary didn't lose because, you know, Trump beat her.
Yeah.
She lost because people didn't like her.
Didn't like her.
And I think that's going to happen again with you
this.
know,
Well. Let me ask the question again. I heard your answer, but you didn't answer my question.
okay.
You saying what it leads to. What does this says about our country if Donald Trump wins? Think about it now.
Mhm.
He was impeached twice.
Mhm.
His whole cabinet was somewhat corrupt people, right? He was convicted
Mhm.
on so many charges, right? He led an attempted coup on the country. He said he didn't swear in to protect the Constitution. He said if he gets in office, whether it's true or not, he's going to be a dictator for at least the first day or two or whatever the case. What does that say about our country as a whole if someone with these, whether it be Trump or not, just let's take Trump out. Any man with all this going on, what does that say about your country?
I think it says that people are willing to let America burn to the ground rather than elect somebody that they don't believe in their views. Because there's a lot of people who got ticked off about the Israel versus Palestine.
Right.
There's a lot of people who are ticked off about the fact that we are taking tons of money and sending it overseas instead of helping people here in America. There's a lot of people who are ticked off by, some of the politics that have been done, some of the things that haven't gotten passed in America when the party who's in charge actually has the majority. I think a lot of people, and this goes to the patriotism thing, because we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think a lot of people, the patriotism of America has been down, and that's why, you can go through a 4th of July and people aren't, I feel like there's a lot of people who didn't wave the flag. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of people who don't feel strongly about America. And so here's the thing, man, empires only last for a while, and then they fall. Okay. They don't last very long. America has probably been, the longest experiment in this empire, and, we're right at the time where it can just fall apart. And I think a lot of people are willing to let it burn to the ground than to, get behind something that they don't believe in, if that makes
Who's to
sense.
say? Maybe, I don't know, man. I would hate to see it burn or crumble, but sometimes things have to fall in order to be better, to be great again. But
what do you think that says about
I think, man, I think, me personally, I think it'll be like it's an added stain, I mean, can we be a nation revered as great, even though there's other countries that don't like America? And I get it. America don't like certain countries either. But can they be revered as great among other nations, right? They already know there is some racial divide in America, but America was still, I guess, you say it's a great nation, great sense of people going to come over here to pursue happiness and freedom. But what does that say about your nation when you elect someone? And that's not to say that Biden's any better, because he's definitely up in age. People question his cognizance. But what do you say about a nation who will have someone come up with so much blemishes on him to represent your nation as a whole, to sit up in the UN with so much going on, and then they want to give you immunity so you can do anything you want in office. They got away from that. That's why they came over to get from under the rulage of a king or an emperor. Well, in their case, a king. Because you never get rid of a king. Either another nation kills that king, or he has the heir that takes him, that comes after him. But to have a person with, and granted, none of us are perfect, but so much blemishes on a big level, so much on a big level. Like it's
But look
what's
at
that
Trump.
say?
Look at Trump. Trump has loyal
Yeah. Oh yes,
supporters.
he does.
They will get behind him
Yeah, doesn't
with
matter,
anything.
and he knows that.
And Biden doesn't have that kind of loyalty behind him. You see like Biden said, which was true. A lot of people got mad at him for saying it, but you see the liberal elites coming after Biden, trying to take Biden down. Okay.
But you don't see them.
He does not have the loyalty that MAGA is. MAGA is loyalty. Those people, they would ride or die, you know? And so with that being said, again, what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to choose that couch. And when people aren't voting, Trump is going to win.
Yeah.
Because this happened in 2016.
They even think if people vote independent, that's still a vote for Trump. They taking votes from Biden.
I know. I hear what people are saying, but I think that you really have to go after the Democratic Party for pushing out somebody who people weren't going to get around. And if you want to unite people, you have to push out somebody who people are going to get around. You know, say what you want to say about the Republican Party. You know, people are biting that bullet. You see all those Republicans. Even Trump's pick, which is our last story here.
Yeah.
Trump's pick, which is JD Vance. There's tons of videos of him just going at Trump, calling him the baby Hitler or America's Hitler.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he said that.
Really?
He said that. And so like they are really going at that. He was really going at Trump. But guess where he is right now?
Yeah. I wonder
right beside him.
Why Trump chose him to be the VP, his running mate, I should say.
All right, so let's talk about this. JD Vance was chosen at the national convention, and as Trump's VP. All right, so a couple little facts on JD Vance. He is a 39-year-old Republican Party senator of Ohio.
He's a junior senator.
Yes, junior senator of Ohio. So he's 39 years old. Again, he was vastly against Trump, a few years ago. And now he's like gung-ho about Trump. What do you think of this pick, this guy?
Man, I don't know. Honestly, Trump should have probably picked Nikki Haley.
Yes.
He should have picked Nikki Haley. To show that you are diverse, even though you're right wing, you are diverse in that area, but I guess I don't know why he picked dude, but I seen something that guy was going at Biden, I think after the debate, saying that, they need to walk away from Biden. I think he was saying something about that.
Oh, that was JD Vance?
I think so.
Okay.
I know he was saying, I saw him, he was saying, I can't recall if he was saying something about Biden or something about Trump.
Yeah.
But I think, I'm thinking he was saying something about Biden as far as his competency and his age.
Oh, okay.
As far as debating. I believe now, don't kill me out there in YouTube land.
Yeah.
You right wingers.
But yeah, I think this is probably, I would say, would sink Trump's bid if all this stuff didn't happen. But I think that this was a bad mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's thinking. Really, I think this pick was about loyalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Trump wants somebody who's going to be blindly loyal to him. And I think like a JD Vance basically will be.
Yeah.
Even though he had strong opinions about Trump years ago. And, really, if you think about it, what happens with somebody who's going to be blindly loyal? I mean,
overthrow democracy.
Exactly. If Pence was blindly loyal, what would have happened on January 6th? And so
Pence is more of a politician than he honors democracy.
Yes.
Not dictatorship.
Right. So I mean, I think this is bad. I think, I didn't even like, because people were floating around other names and all those people he was kind of floating around, like Tim Scott and all these guys, I think would have been bad, picks as well. I think that if Trump was really trying to do something, he would have picked somebody who was an independent or somebody who.
Oh, you think so? He should have picked an independent as a running mate?
Yeah.
I don't think independent would have partnered with him as a running mate. That's why they independent.
I know. I mean, I think, whoever's going to become the next president, or if you want to be a presidential candidate and you want me to get behind you, you're going to have to show that you can work across the line. If you want my vote, you're going to have to show that.
You think Trump can work across the aisle?
I don't know, man.
Has he done it before?
I don't think any of those politicians that they're floating around can. And that's where it gets to America, right? We were just talking about this. If you want people to get behind you, and if you want people to be loyal to you, you have to be able to reach across the aisle.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen it from any of these candidates. I haven't seen it from any of these people. We really need a Republican and a Democrat, or a Democrat and Republican, showing that they can come together and they can actually run the country. That's what we need as a president and a VP.
Obama tried it, but because the Republicans had the House, in the sense that they refused, they needed him to fail, so we can't approve, we can't work with him on anything.
Right, and I think that's bad.
That's very bad. Wilson, a senator from South Carolina, disrespected the man at the damn when he did the inaugural address.
Yeah,
when he do the so
I think we've got to stop picking party. We got to stop being loyal to parties. We got to get out of this party system. America has to get out of this party system because it's burning the country to the ground. These people are either Republican or they're Democrat. And that's BS. We should be open to anybody. We should be open to anybody. It shouldn't be Republican. It shouldn't be Democrat.
Neither one of them do shit for black people either way. So
really, I think a lot of people were talking about Vivek and some of the other folks.
As far as his running mate?
Yeah. As far as his running mate, a lot of people were saying Vivek. Some people were saying Candace Owens. Some people, at the beginning they were saying that.
A lot of people won't get Republicans, they won't get behind Vivek. He's foreign, even though he's born here. Because I saw an interview with Coulter, and it was Ann Coulter.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
She was interviewing him, and she was like, "Yeah, some of your things you were saying." She said, "I understand." She said, "But I'm gonna be truthful with you. I would never vote for you because you are a foreign. You're not American. You're a foreign." He was like, "Okay, I can." She told him straight up.
Yeah.
And so Republicans, I don't think not a woman.
Yeah.
Or not a woman, nor a foreigner.
Well, I think that his pick doesn't really move the needle at all.
It doesn't, but I know why.
So,
I think that's why he did it, because he knows that party.
Yeah.
That they would go for.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I think. I think he needed to win Ohio, and so he wanted to seal it by getting that guy, because that guy's from Ohio. Who he should have went with is probably somebody like a Tulsi Gabbard, which, even she has not such a great record. I think it was Hillary Clinton who came out and tried to say that she was like a Russian spy or something. And so she has that like stain on her a little bit.
Yeah.
But, even with her, I mean, she's a woman, and would have been a great candidate, but, I think that,
but
like you're saying,
to be honest, I think he should have, Nikki Haley, I don't know who she is. I think if anybody in the Republican Party could have pulled it off, having a female VP would have been him.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, his people are so loyal. If anybody, I think he could. Now, he may have got slight pushback, but they're so loyal to him.
Yeah.
I believe. And I think if anybody could pull it off, it would have been him.
Yeah,
he could have.
He's got that blind loyalty.
Yeah, exactly. He could have pulled it off.
But listen, we saw this in 2008 when somebody picked a woman who was a Republican, right? Remember that with Sarah Palin?
Oh,
And so
Kane,
maybe
Kane
that's
and Sarah
maybe
Palin.
that could have been
Yeah.
what deterred him. Okay.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't know.
You're right. You're
But
right. But then again,
Nikki Haley would have been strong.
no disrespect to Sarah Palin, but
Yeah.
she's nowhere near as smart as Nikki Haley are. You know.
Yeah.
She's so. Did you see the movie that they had on her?
That was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
And you see
The
how they
HBO.
you see how you see how they depict her like
Yeah.
like what the hell is so-
Right.
You know what I mean? But
So
then it was the porn and nailing Palin. It was Lisa Ann. You guys go look that up. She looked like Sarah Palin a little bit.
oh, okay. I don't even know what you're talking about.
It was a porn called Nailing Palin.
Okay.
Porn started by the name of Lisa Ann.
Dang, I'm gonna have to cut all this out now.
Nah, man, the audience needs us. You right wingers, you need us. Go look at it to get that stress off you.
Do we have right wingers following us?
If anything, we probably got some shitting on us in the comment.
I will say,
Mhm.
I was looking at some of our videos recently,
Mhm.
and there have been a lot of like,
We get a lot of right.
I'm like, what is going
come
on
on
here?
not for, they come on here
Maybe
to,
because we're talking about politics
to
a little bit.
I think they only come to spew the negative and to spew hate.
Yeah. I
They're
noticed that.
definitely not following us.
Yeah.
But I've seen
Not that all right wingers are
not
like that,
the
but-
all not all, but I've seen other people platform where they're strictly for a Democrat and they just shitting on Trump.
Yeah.
And I look at their comments and I don't see a whole. You see some, but it's majority of their own people agreeing with them.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But in our comments,
I will say I'm not a right winger. I'm not a left winger. I am very progressive.
just a winger.
But I do. What I do is I point out the bad on both sides. If I really had to put myself in a category, I would probably say I'm more of a I don't know. I would say
Conservative.
No, I'm like a black Bill Maher, if that makes any sense. Not that I agree with everything he says, but if I had to put something on it, because I'm able to see, on both sides where they're doing bad, and a lot of people can't point that out. A lot of people, again, are loyal to a fault.
How you think
So-
it would be if Congress one day decide, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a certain amount of people from this side, and you're gonna go to the Democratic side. Take some people from the Democratic side, you're gonna go to the Republican side. You're gonna be a Democrat, you're gonna be a Republican, but you working in this, I don't know, whichever, when you working with this group, you gotta work with this group, you gotta work with this group.
I would say that would be a great day in America.
I think
because
so,
we
too.
would actually get some things passed, and we wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we do have right now.
Yeah, and you would know in depth of each other's opposing sides, right? Just like I said, I saw videos where you had right wingers, right, and then you had some blacks. They came out to their rally, and and it was all white people, and they're like, whatever. And it looked like it's about the feud. And the blacks, no, we just come. And then at the end, when they actually talked and realized at the end of the day, they had the same core values.
Yeah.
They just listened to a lot of fluff outside and a lot of propaganda. And the white guy was even like, yo, man, let me get a picture with you, man, my son. And they literally they took a picture together. And sometimes I be thinking, man, sometimes if you just sit down and talk with people,
Yeah.
you will realize how much you have in common. You look
Exactly.
different on the outside,
That's what I've always been saying.
and a lot of stereotypes about black people is not true. That the media that they put out, or you hear your family members from back in the day who was racist and they make these little jokes and this and that. And granted, some stereotypes, yeah, it's funny, but a lot of these racial tropes aren't true about black people. And half of the time, most of them don't even sit down to know a person of color or from another race. I never look at anybody just because they're a different race or different culture. I look at them as fascinating. I don't look at it as like, ew, you less than me because you're different.
I'm the same way.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
How you hate somebody for something they can't help?
Yeah.
Not everybody can be born our color. Not everybody can be born white. Not everybody can be born Indian. Not everybody can be born Asian. You have a motley of people. You know, that I think, and that in itself what makes the world a unique and should make the world a beautiful place.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one reason why I'm not big on the. I know there's some aliens because I figure we got aliens living amongst us, all these different races
Really?
and cultures of people. I think that's enough right there to be. That's why I'm not saying that we do have aliens, but
Yeah.
that's just my theory. A lot of people believe aliens. I was like, no, I don't think so because we got all these different races of people here that's strange enough. You know what I'm saying? And our planet, we don't know everything about our own planet that we live on. Why are we going to explore? You know, they can't even pinpoint our own climate.
Yeah.
So that's, like I said, that's something else in itself.
I think what you said before the alien stuff was very important, and you know, that's how we're gonna end this show.
Yeah, let's end it on that.
Once again, I'm Brooks.
And I'm Hendrix. This has been the Black Summit, and we out.
We out.
Mm.